make sure to stick around until the end. I prepared a lot of specials, a lot of chart studies, and a lot of. All right, now we're going to jump into this YouTube course, and as I showed you about the candlestick, then we will make our way down to patterns and triggers. And many triggers may believe that candlesticks are one thing that we got at this point. When we start at the higher time frames and when we look at this candlestick here that I have circled, now we are taking the way to lower with this gap. Information. This single candlestick on the higher time frame, if we zoom in, turns into dozens of lower time frame candles, and there we can slowly start to understand the interaction and the battle that is always going on between the buyers and the sellers. And this is really where you want to get, because this is what it shapes the market, this is what shapes the trend, this is how you understand where the price is likely to go next, how you position yourself, and one step further. And we can go further down on the time frame. And now the single candlestick is showing us multiple trends. We have turning phases, transitions, breakdowns. Even if you nicely understand price structure, and buyers, sellers, and this constant battle that is always going on behind the scenes. So I really recommend and urge you to be open. We're going to spend a few minutes on candles. I will show you the most important candles. And then we'll dig into patterns, lower time frames, and how to put everything together to really understand what is going on behind the scenes. So we will start chapter 1 with candles.
Let's go. Four minutes.
We have the best player. Understand these 2 days, right? 22 to 14, right? It's a different game. It's the next shot. All right, it's easy to follow this game. Also, what they were in losing to. They're very worried about this. I just think that this is a very close league. And the last thing he says,
That's not normal.
You don't want to drop there you go.
he just said something at the beginning of you know, the NBA today, these dummies out here, they just
Couldn't stop it. I couldn't. Now, time that I can remember.
Assists and turnovers. When they have 40 in a the opener, they have 16 or 2 when those turnovers get out of hand is when they run into trouble. Are you ready for it? Katie threw it. My oldest granddaughter. There's a couple of shots with Uncle Chuck's back when she was very little. She has turned 7 years old today.
That's magnificent. It makes everything magnificent.
Serving Kid Brown?
When you use your MasterCard to tap or order online dining and groceries, MasterCard will donate 1 cent up to $5 million to stand up to kids. Together, we can start something nice. 1 minute.
Sunshine, you got all your stuff for in the morning? What you wearing, baby?
Wiz.
What's close?
Let me go ahead and drop the link in the chat. What's up? What's up? What's up? Go ahead, drop the link.
Keep it short things at a time.
I'm more certain they are on my side. Only has been.
We're gonna go ahead and get started. 9:05. Trying to find my co-hosts. There we go.
Él no le puso la tabla.
Cool. Letting some folks roll in. I'm gonna drop the link on IG. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up some of the trades from this week I took so we can review my trades.
Conflicts we had, he chose.
Top deck. And she says, oh, let me take some pictures.
I don't know why it's like that.
Look at me. Look at me. New. You keep muting everybody, Lauren, and you're muting me too.
I just did that one. My bad.
Okay. I'm like, how am I muted?
I just now by accident. My bad. I'm sorry.
It's all right. So, like I was trying to say before I realized I was muted. This is my first week fully trading on the 1 minute. A lot of times I test out different things, different strategies, see how they go. So this week was no indicators, strictly price action, candlesticks, patterns, and off the 1 minute. That was this week, and it went pretty good. So I might keep doing it. So this basic concept that I was using this week was just understanding, again, price action, understanding candlesticks and what they mean, right? So it doesn't matter, whether it's an abandoned baby, morning star, evening shadow, midnight, midsummer. It don't matter what the candlestick is called, hammer, bull flag, bear flag, all of that. What's important is you understand what it means when it comes to price and money flow in that particular equity. So what we're gonna do is break down a couple of trades. I just want to explain like the basis. So the basis behind that is looking at higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? And understanding what that means as far as the market, as far as the trend of that stock, and where you can expect it to head. So with Tesla, this was a trade from yesterday. So we traded Tesla calls yesterday, Tesla puts today. Made a good move both times. So trading on the 1 minute, right? We have, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop into it. We have an ascending triangle pattern, okay? So what does that mean? You can Google it, pull it up on your phone or your laptop as well. So what this means in serious, like real terms, real words, is we see this price continuously forming a resistance here, all right? What is resistance? It's where price gets resistance, right? So this is where price is rejecting this area over and over again. So you see 715, 714, 714, right? So I'm marking that off and saying, okay, cool. Now I know this is a spot that price not breaking over. So of course you could trade puts, right? After you see it hitting that, you could trade puts. The thing about it is we notice these lows, right? So this is a move low. This is a low compared to the high. This is a low right here, right? So these lows are getting higher, okay? And then we did have a lower low here. These lows are continuously getting higher, right? So what I'm looking for, because I noticed this pattern, is I'm not going to trade this little move right here because my time window for these, as well as my risk to reward, is continuously decreasing, right? Up here and up here, I have a lot more room. $14 move on Tesla can give me a quick little buck. As we start to get higher in this pattern, it's not worth it, right? Now, when you start studying patterns, you'll notice that an ascending triangle is a bullish pattern that we're anticipating a breakout on. So what I did is I waited until we broke this high, right? And until we broke this support. So once we broke above 715.66, I might have set an alert for 715.75 just for cushion. I said, cool. Now let's see how high it goes. And I started my trade right here, right? And I came up here, pushed back down. I'm just waiting because it still hasn't broke this trend line, all right? So I definitely would have got out if it broke this trend line. And I also never made a new low. So this is our most recent low. So I'm using these lows and highs as triggers for my exits or my entries, right? So those are lows on this 1 minute, different low points, right? So we're gonna point
Hey,
this
Jordan.
out.
Hey, sorry. A lot of people are having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, how about now? No, that's cool. Sorry, y'all. I'm either like real turnt or I'm real chill. And right now I'm like more chill, but I could definitely speak up. So right now what you're looking at is another potential ascending triangle. If you chart it out right here, right? You see the resistance, and we also see that lower trend line. But what happened? It broke back through and failed this. Right. So for somebody who's, starting to pick things up, you say, whoa, isn't that the same thing right here as this is, just on a shorter span? What's going on? Somebody, okay, no, yeah, thank you for not doing that. Pop something in the chat if you need something. And then Lauren, if something's in the chat that I need to address, you just let me know, please. Thank you. So like I was saying, this is a ascending triangle on a smaller scale, but it broke down, right? So we don't trade. No trigger, no trade, right? You plan every trade, you have your entry, you have your exits, and this didn't trigger. It didn't break through, so no entry. We get that off. This one, however, broke through the resistance. Entry, all right? It came back down and made a little low here, but this low is not lower than these lows, so we stay in, right? It retested this resistance as support, and then it popped back off. So that's when I loaded up, right? 750 calls, lower high was made, trend line held, ascending triangle breakout, and then retested it as support, okay? So that's just simple chart pattern, and it retested the support. So I'm like, bet, we about to go. And that's what we did, right? Tesla popped off, and I'll explain my price target as well, right? That was a question I got in the chat a couple of times was, what's your target on Tesla? I will say this week, instead of setting a lot of price targets like I used to do, instead of setting, trim levels like I used to do, getting out at 10% profit on some contracts, getting out at 20% on some contracts. This week I use a trailing stop for all my trades, right? So what a trailing stop is where once you go up a certain level of profit, you're not letting it come back down below a certain level. So if you have a 10% trailing stop and you go up 10% in profit, your new stop loss is at 0, which is break even, right? You move up 20%, trailing stop is going to be, okay, a percentage based stop is going to say, okay, now my max loss, or max, sorry, not even a loss, what you get pulled out as 10%, right? We up 40%, I move it up 30%. So all that is on the brokerage, setting a stop market sell order, and you can adjust it as you go along if you're doing a percentage-based trailing stop, right? So instead of me getting in 10 contracts and cutting some here, then cutting some here, I held them the whole way through. That's what I did all
No
week.
trim, no trim game.
No trim, but mute yourself, bro. I'm talking. Thank you. Put it in the chat. I love it, though. I love the energy, but we got to lock in, baby. So that's another thing I was doing is no trims, but stop losses with price and stop losses with the percentage, right? And raising that up. So when it comes to the side of using price levels as potential stops, I'm gonna get back to measuring the move too. But when it comes to price levels of potential stops, I'm looking at the high and the lows again. Slim, if you got a question, pop it in the chat. Lauren, if it's a question I need to answer now, please let me know. Teamwork makes the dream work. So what I'm looking at here is I got out up here because I had my trailing stop, right? But are we going to see lower lows or lower highs being made? So we have a high right here of 733.90. We have a lower low, or a higher low actually, because this was the low, right? This was the low, higher low, but then we have a lower high, right? So there's a lower high too. So I got out up here because I had a trailing stop. So I might have been up 60% on this one at this point, and I moved my stop down to 50%, right? Stop market order. I calculated what a 50% return would be, put an order in for it, and then when the stock started reversing, my order automatically executed, right? So when I'm using these trailing stops, there's no way for me to lose on the trade, because if it flips, it's gonna pull me out, right? But if you're using a price-based trailing stop, then this would have been the exit, because this is a new lower high, which means that we might be starting to flip momentum, right? Which we saw happen again here. Now, when you're looking at an ascending triangle and we're trying to measure out what type of targets we can have, this is how I do it. All right, so I'm taking the resistance down to the base, and I'm gonna flip that and have that price target to the upside, right? So we just measured that out. You see that's about 1972 from that resistance level to the base of that trend line, or to the base of that ascending triangle. We flip it, 1982 puts us right here, right? Look at where we hit, right? Again, like I told y'all, been on these live trading sessions this week. I told y'all we turning y'all to savages right now, all right? One more time, from the resistance to the base of the trend line, right? That's what we're gonna flip and look at our target. So it's a $19 move down, right? $19. Flip it back up. Where does that put us at? The high. So even from right there, and I had an alert go off for that, right? You wouldn't have missed it. You would have locked in all your profit possible on this move. If you were trading on this 1 minute, you would have locked in all your gains just by having that as a target, right? But then of course you have the trailing stops to back it up, right? So that's why it's important to study this stuff, to study the price action, to study the chart patterns, to understand candlesticks and what they mean, so you can catch moves like this, right? And this is in a matter of, this is from 9:55, and I didn't trade it there, right? So you could have actually been pulling up your screen. This is from 9:55 to 11:42, right? So less than 2 full hours, you could have just traded this one trade that day, made 50, 60%, been done, right? You put 2,000 on that, that's $1,000, right? You're done for the day. So look at that, study that, use that, right? Let's go over to, we might have traded this again, but let's go to today's Tesla. Cool. So we traded Tesla today as well. All right. So here's what I saw on Tesla today. And you'll notice what I noticed when I went back and studied my own trades. I noticed that a lot of the times I was trading during the same time frames, for the same time periods. Right. So a lot of my stuff was the first 2 hours, or specifically around 10:30 to like 11 or 12. Right. So reason I'm thinking this, other analysts do the same thing, like Zay and JJ. They don't trade the first 30 minutes. Let the market shake out. It's gonna gap up. It's might gonna fake left, right, up, down. Who knows, right? So what I'm looking at here is something similar to the ascending triangle we just looked at, right? Which is a descending triangle. So we see a support level, and then we also see an upper trend line, right? All the trend line is a series of highs and lows. You just connect the dots. We had a little bounce here as a high, high, high. These are all lower highs, which means that we're losing momentum to the upside, right? So think about it logically. And I think this is what helped me too, is what does this mean? That means that every time we bounce up, we losing steam. And if we bouncing up, losing steam, that means that when we gain some steam, it's either going to be to the left, like just sideways, or it's going to be down, right? And so we can consolidate, right? But here's why I waited. So we got inputs here because we broke this low and closed below the low, right? And so I'm going to put some emphasis on the fact that I waited for a close, All right, the reason why I'm waiting for a close is because we don't want to get wicked out, right? So if you look at something like this right here, and of course this support wasn't there, but you wouldn't have wanted to buy puts here and get faked out to the upside, right? And I actually bought puts here as well, but they just moved so fast I couldn't call them out the group. But you don't want to get faked out. So I'm gonna talk about two different entries. I did this earlier this week with SPY, and I'm not gonna review every single trade I took. I took like 15 trades this week, right? But we have this right here. And so once this is established, safe entries here, because we broke and closed below support. But once this has been established as a lower high, you can pull the trigger on that put immediately, right? Aggressive. And you can have your stop right here, which will be a higher high. So if we push above 689.50, you can say, okay, we're breaking out of this pattern a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut, right? That's a $1.50 stop loss. You might lose 5%, 10% max, right? Cool. Look at your reward. Even if you trade it back down to here, your reward, we're gonna open it up. Let's pop this open, short position. All right, y'all gonna see how to use some trading view tools too here. So if you put your stop right here, what's this? 692, it ain't even that high. Yeah, so your stop can be right there, right? And say this is your target. That's a 3 for your risk to reward, right? So in simple terms, it's like you risking $1 to make $3, right? So your risk to reward is super favorable, okay? So that's why I'm saying, like, even that, and I'm gonna go ahead and be, I'll be real with all my people. Like, when you're going heavy, that's the type of trades you're going heavy on. Right? When you're loading up contracts, when I put I'm going heavy in the chat or on live, or when I say full port, disclaimer, don't ever put all your portfolio in any trade at one time. Also, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I just make a lot of money doing this, and I want to help people make money too. So that out the way. That's what you can take that chance, right? I don't mind taking that risk to reward right there. If I lose it, I lose it. But that's a darn good, if you was playing tic-tac-toe with somebody and you got $3 for every win and lost $1 for every loss, I'm gonna keep playing because I'll recover all that, even if you go 50-50, right? You win more money than you're gonna lose. So that's what I'm looking at on some of these entries I'm taking when like you talk about like sniper entries and things of that nature, like that's that, right? If you seeing those and you see that lower high put in, that means that the bulls are losing steam. And so we start dropping down even more, okay? So when are we gonna exit this, right? Again, trailing stop percentage-wise, use a trailing stop price-wise, right? So trailing stop percentage means that if I entered here or here, right, I go up 10%, I now move my stop up to break even, right? So I'm setting a stop market order that basically says, hey, I paid $500 for this contract, market sell, right? So the contract is maybe at $550 right now. I put a market sell order in for $500. Cool, all right? So that's gonna do is say when we drop back, a stop market, sorry, not a market sale, a stop market. So when we go back down to $500 per contract, it's gonna take me out, right? When we keep going down, I'm up 20, 30, 40, you just keep moving that. So when it flips, again, you get stopped out with profits secured, okay? So let's keep up with this same concept of the lower highs and the higher lows, all those, right? Looking at those. Now, we're looking at this and let's exit off of a higher high. A higher high is showing us that we are really flipping back bullish. We're in puts, right? So we come down, we make a new lower low. And I'll circle that. We come up. That's a new lower high. Why is it a lower high? Because the previous high was right here, right? Come down, we got some lows. We come up. Technically, Jordan, technically, this is a higher high, right? This last high, 670.90. This is 671.49. That's a higher high. Cool. Exit. right? You got in here. You can get out here. Oh, by the way, if you had a trailing stop on percentage wise and you were moving it up, if you up 50% right here, you would have got pulled out the trade up here at maybe 45 or 40%, right? So you wouldn't even got taken out up here, right? Right. So that's why I've been using both and testing them both out. Is because I've seen that, of course, I can get stopped out, and that's why I like to keep like a 10 to 15% trailing stop, so that regardless, I'm gonna lock in profit. I'm not letting a trade that I was green on go red, right? But at the same time, I have more room to keep letting it run. So cool. We just keep going, and what do we see? Right, another ascending triangle, like I just showed y'all. All right. We got the resistance and we have these trend line bounces. Now, what did I just show you? I'm gonna flip back, right? Let's go back and look at it. Same thing, resistance, trend line bounces, breakout to the upside, right? Retest, continue breakout to the upside. We had a smaller one here. This is why you wait and you're patient. No trigger, no trade, right? We had one here, trend line bounces, resistance, but it didn't break down to the up. It didn't break up to the upside, right? It broke through it, right? No entry on calls there. Let's go back to this one. We see the same thing. No entry on calls. We did not go up and break this level. We broke down, right? So two things you could do. One, you could enter puts if you want on that break, right? And again, we look at risk to reward. You can trade this down to here, right? And you can have your stop back inside of this range. Optionable. What did I do? I waited until we broke below this support and made a new low, right? And a lot of these, if you in the chat, you missed some of them because a lot of them were just called out on the live Zoom I was running today. You know, stuff moving so quick on Friday, it's hard to call it out and then not hear, you called it out and it was up 20%. So sorry if you missed it. But I'm showing you this because if you can't make the lives, or you can't listen, but you know, you go on lunch at work, you go take a walk around the office, you know, whatever it is, you can do this on your phone, right? So break of the low, close below the low, we can go puts again, right? And what are we looking for? Same sort of deal. Lower lows, lower highs. Okay. So this technically is a higher high. And you can get out.
Yo, Jordan, I got a question.
Put it in the chat.
I got you.
Do Q&A after, but if it's in the chat, we can also run through, but I want to make sure I don't go off on the little bunny trail or whatever they call it. You know, certain stuff I want to make sure y'all get. But I'm glad you got questions. So again, right, let's be realistic. Live trading, if I see this after I got out here, I might have gotten out. This move from here down to here, that $7 move, I'm in profit already. Trailing stop, I might have got pulled out here with just 10%, 5%, whatever the case is, right? Cool. The thing about it is you can re-enter, right? So that's one of the things I've been putting into my head too, is you don't have to sit in a trade and just hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it and hope that it runs on and on and on and on, right? If I see anything that's showing me that this might flip, I'm out. Like, what am I about to sit here and potentially lose for if I'm already winning? You know what I'm saying? So when I see this support, right? I see the support, I see a bounce, and I see a higher bounce. I'm thinking, okay, we might continue up. Maybe you get out. Or once you see this break right here, and I think this is where I called them out actually on live to get back in puts or to get new puts. Right, we saw this break below support. New low, right? What do we see? Drop. So make a new low, high, lower, or higher low, and then a higher high. Again, you can get out the trade, right? So if this was live trading that we're on right now, and we were on live trading earlier, hey, it made a higher high, get out. Cool. We got in here at 650. This is 643. We made money. You know what I'm saying? The contracts we in are in the money now. We're up. You use a trailing stop from here to here, whether that's 30, 40, 50% gain, set a stop at 40%. When it starts moving back up, you're pulled out the trade, right? Pull me out the trade in profit. I don't care. If it looks good, I'll re-enter again, right? So that's the importance of having a cash account too, is because if you're trading on Robinhood, dun, 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 right? You trading on Robinhood and they're not letting you trade options on a cash account, you're putting yourself in a position where you're gonna get smacked with the PDT rule, and you're gonna end up like me, having been almost banned from trading on Robinhood. Because every time I get back on it, I break the PDT rule, you know, if I do set up another account on there. So, but I have multiple accounts across multiple platforms. That's another conversation. So that's what we're looking at, right? A series of lower highs, lower lows, that whole nine. And that's really the gist of it. So I'm gonna go to one more trade. I'm gonna open it up for some questions. You know, Lauren, we can read the questions from the chat. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. That would just make it a lot easier than having 100 people unmute themselves all at one time. That's a mess. All right. The last trade I'm gonna show from my day to day, and that was 134 Apple puts, and so two trades. I also got 140 Apple puts. At some point, I traded so much I don't even remember when I did that. But so these 134 is what I'm gonna break down, right? So we already see Apple's trend is going down, right? That's another thing to keep in mind, is trading the trend makes it easier because we're already headed that way. So your entry doesn't have to be so exact if the stock just keeps trending the way it's been trending. Okay. So I traded these puts when we broke this support level. What's support? It's an area where the stock is bouncing up off of. It's being supported by that price level. Cool. Put it in real terms is when the stock makes a low and holds that low. So we see 135.14, 135.17, right? But you just see it kind of hugging this 135 area, right? 135.15 roundabout, right? Then we broke down, right? This closed below, right? This close, if you look up here, you can see the open, high, low, and close. This close was 135.06, which is showing me it's broken through this support, right? The Bears are back in the game. They back in control, right? They was fighting, they broke it. Cool. We going down, baby, timber. So look, check me out. We got a lower high right there. We got another lower high, right? So we not pulling out of the trade. Boom. And then this is a higher high there. So you could get out here, right? If you were trading strictly off, I gotta show y'all that SPY chart that I traded. That's nasty. I'm gonna show y'all that. But again, the importance of using a trailing stop when you're trading and using based off percentages, one, because we're trading on a Friday, same day expiration. I was sitting there, I called out the Apple puts today, and I was sitting there looking at it. So I guess I might have called it out here. I doubt I did, but it was some trade. It might have been Tesla. It was some trade I called out, and I was literally typing it in the chat to call it out, and it was down 10%, break even, up 15%, 2%, break even, 2%, like all while I'm typing it in the group, right? So understand that the contracts are going to move very fast, right? And having those stops in place or having take profit orders in place even is going to be something that allows you to get pulled out without putting too much at risk, right? Me evolving as a trader, evolving as a person, I used to take profits. And then I said, well, look, if I wanted to limit anything, shouldn't I just limit my loss? Why would I limit my profit? So I stopped doing it, right? So that's why I started using trailing stops Instead of setting like take profit at 30%, well, nah, I'm straight. So so looking at that, right, you would have stayed in, you wouldn't have got out. If you use a trailing stop loss, maybe you got out here, maybe you got out up on this move, right? You could have re-entered here and caught the wave back down. But that's just the whole gist of it, right? And I'm going to show this last chart. Let me pull up my phone where it was. It was a SPY trade I took this week. And then I will answer all the questions in the world because I love y'all. That's the 18th. And I showed it on the 5-minute when I showed it in the chat, so I'll do it now. So the 18th caught SPY puts, right? Cool. And I have 400 puts on the 18th. All right. So let's go down to the 1 minute. Apparently I did trade it on the 1 minute. I used the 5 to show the actual stuff. All right. All right, cool. So I entered 400 puts on the 18th. Okay. So here's why I did that. And we banked. Okay. So looking at this, what you're seeing is all these rejections, right? And you literally go down, and this is almost perfect. All of these are lower highs, right? That's why I use this pivot points indicator feature. It's called pivot point high low, right? So just to show that, all right? Pivot points high low, all right? That's what all these little numbers are. So that way I have a clear, I don't have to hold my cursor over anything to have an idea of, you know, what the actual high was or what the low was. I already know, right? So when you're looking at it, we see higher, oh, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right? What does that mean? If we see all these lower highs, then that means clearly, again, bulls are losing momentum, right? We're not going up. So if we're not going up, and I had some people in the chat asking, you know, we're gonna flip calls. No, right? Like, why would we flip calls if we're clearly going down? If anytime we try to go up, it's getting rejected, right? So what did I do? I'm waiting. And this was, I think this is one of the trades I got in. I was being real aggressive. So I saw this kind of trend line here, and it actually played out even better. But I got in on this rejection. It was one of these rejections right here, right? So here's why I got in on this rejection. We see the lowers, we see it, see it, see it. So at this point, I'm understanding right here. I said, okay, cool. If we break above 402, we might be going back up. We rejected, right? We were on live. I said, bro, I'm getting in, you know, and I was saying I was going to wait for a break below 485 to show that we were making another lower low. But again, we look at the risk to reward. It's the same thing I showed y'all in that trade earlier. My stop loss was 402.10, and I'm pretty sure I put that in the chat too. My stop loss was 402.10. So my stop was literally 11 cents, maybe 12, right? 12 cents. So I bought a crap ton of contracts because worst case scenario, I take a 1%, 2% loss. And if I trade it back down to this level of support, right, that's going to be almost a $2 gain. So I'm risking 11, 12 cents to make $2, right? But flip it into options terms. You'll know we're talking about money. So I got in here, right? We kept making the lows. And this is where stuff got really crazy because we broke this support, right? So this would be the safer entry. We broke and closed the support. And to show the importance of that, right? We see support is here already. If you got in just because it tapped support right here, you caught that bounce, right? So your puts are just negative the whole, as soon as you get in, puts negative immediately, right? That's why we need to understand what this is meaning. We're showing bearish momentum here. We're showing support here. So putting buying calls at support is normally what you say to look for, but you have to also pay attention to these highs getting lower every time. Okay. So this is the trade that went 560%. And this is why I'm talking about like the no trims, right? So when you look at these and we're talking about these higher highs, higher lows, and all of that, you didn't get a higher high until over here, right? So that means you were in, if you got in here, oh my gosh, right? You caught this whole drop right here, right? And at that point, you could exit. You know, if you're using a trailing stop, you might have got stopped out here when it started coming back up, right? But other than that, you caught this whole ride down until down here.
Hey Jordan, sorry to interrupt you, bro. Can you zoom into your chart so everybody else can see the chart? There's somebody in the chat asking if you could zoom in so they could be able to see like the higher highs and the lower lows.
Sure thing, Moody. You are allowed to unmute yourself, sir. You have that privilege. Yeah, bro. So I'm glad you said that so we can zoom in a little bit. All right. So all it is, like I said, is just these. And that's why I put that pivot points high low indicator on here. So it just shows it more clearly. Right. Let me put this class on IG. Tell these folks quit playing. Let's get a bag. So that's really what I've been doing this week. I think I went like 12 for 14 this week. Both the trades I lost on went back green like 20 minutes later for the next day. But this is really the basis of it, is looking at those highs, looking at those lows, knowing chart patterns, recognizing bear flags, recognizing bull flags, recognizing triangles. I traded a symmetrical triangle. I traded descending triangles. And a lot of it, like I'm showing you, a lot of it's the same thing, right? This is support with a resistance trend line, right? What do we trade over here on Tesla? Is it the same thing? No, this one here it is, right? This is resistance with a support trend line. Same things, just getting traded different way, but this was a break, right? So this was a failure, right? But you're just gonna see support trend line resistance, right? So those are all just triangles that I just showed y'all, just flip, right? So when you start studying that stuff, like that's how you're gonna start understanding. So if you heard me say descending triangle 5 times on this Zoom and how I've been making money with it this week, Google it. You know what I'm saying? If you looking at ascending triangles, Google it. Look at what it is, and then go pull up these charts for yourself and look at it too. So you can understand what it's looking like. You can understand how to recognize it. If you can't catch the live Zooms, you know, because people got lives, you know, they can't catch the Zooms. Some of us be on Zoom all day, right? So that's the quick rundown. I just say, you know, again, look at the charts, look at head and shoulders, understand what highs are, lows are, what they mean. Trading on the 1 minute, I don't think it's really that bad or risky or scary if you're just taking the same concepts and just applying them to a smaller time frame, right? As long as you do that, you're good, right? Support resistance, break of support, close below, trade put.
Hey,
right?
Jordan, one more thing. Somebody's asking if you can show a trade, and obviously it's a trade that you didn't take because you didn't take that loss. A trade where you would have taken a loss and what you could have learned from, like I guess jumping into some resistance, thinking that it was going to break, and then it just coming back down to some support. And you on a 1 minute chart, bro. You giving me too much energy. I don't know why you ain't talking about Apple. How you drug it all the way down to 133. All right, I'm gonna go back here.
So I took, like I said, I took 2 losses today. I mean, not today. I took 2 losses this week out of like 14, 15 trades. I will show. I can show one of them, But like I said, they both ended up going positive like shortly after. But I'm gonna pull up. I traded SPY on the 18th 3 times, and I lost one of them. And then it went positive like right after. So I don't have the time. Oh, this might have been. Let me see. I gotta pull up my brokerage account to actually see the time. The blue rectangles y'all see, that's extended hours. So that's not regular market time. Okay. But yeah, bro, I could show. I don't mind that. I took a 15% L. Hold on 1 second. If y'all got questions, please drop them in the chat.
Hey Jordan, you could do it with Apple as well. Like show if you would have not went for puts and you would have went for calls on a fake breakout, what could have happened as well?
Yeah, I want to show the actual loss though. If I can find it. I'm gonna show the actual loss I took. If I can find the thing.
That would be better.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to find it, bro. I done did so many trades this week. Okay. Well, I can't find the loss. It was a 399 put on SPY on the 18th. And as you see on the 18th, like SPY literally dropped the whole day, right? So like I said, I got out immediately. I think I'm a guess and say it might have been this one. So I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see it more clearly. I'm gonna take these lines off. So I'm guessing that this loss was, we had the support here, right? We have this break right here, and then it started pushing up. I feel almost certain this was it. Yeah. So this is it. We had the support break here. We started pushing up, forming inside bars. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, right? Maybe we'll break back down. And then it pushed back. I'll actually put an exit right here. Look at that. Yeah, and then I ended up probably closing it out when it was down 15%. Cause I'm like, okay, I'm not about to, lose no more money on this. And I'll just re-enter if I want to re-enter. So that was a loss. And I had one other loss this week. That other loss. I had another loss this week. It was Monday. It was 5 calls on Monday. And the reason I'm gonna explain it. This was more of I run a group where people need to be able to take the signals, and I want y'all to be able to take the signals. So I'm gonna try to call out a signal y'all can take. Cause I was trading, so that's when I flipped over to just running live trading all week. Because I traded this and I took an L and I was very mad. Cause I called out the call so that y'all could get it. So what I think I did on the 13th was I think I did 407 calls, and it was supposed to be a swing. It was 407 calls. It's supposed to be a swing, and I don't even remember where I took it at, really. But I should have got out. I can't even explain that loss, honestly. I would have just day traded it. I think I got in like up here or something. I don't know. I was very upset about that. But then the next day, SPY like shot up. So that's it though. Pop them questions in the chat. See some people going through, so I guess I'll run through them. I don't want nobody else trying. I'm gonna run through them in reverse. So So somebody said the SPY 399 put trade didn't make a higher high. Why exit the trade? You previously said exit when it makes a higher high on the put, right? So like I said as well, I'm doing a combination of trailing price stops and trailing percentage stops, right? So when we're looking at it and you're actually in the trade, if I'm up 60% and I'm using a 10% trailing stop, okay, I'm gonna start from the top and then I'm gonna run it down. So I'm up 60%, I'm using a 10% trailing stop, and the stock starts pulling back up to where my trade is only up 50%, I'm automatically triggered to exit, right? So using those trailing stops help if you're doing real life regular things like driving, going to the gym, whatever, right? And you're not actually looking at it, then having that is something that can help, right? And scroll through. What brokers let you use a trailing stop? So I've heard TD has an option for trailing stops. Some people respond to E-Trade, TOS, Webull, TD. I just set stop market orders. I don't know if Webull, I use Webull and Tastyworks for my trading. I don't know if they have a specific trailing stop function. I haven't seen one. So I literally just adjust my order and move it up, right? So if I enter that one, which is $100 per contract, and we go up to 1.5, that's 50% gain, I'll set a stop market order, a sell stop market order at 1.4, right? So if the contract drops back down to 1.4, I'm automatically pull it out, 40% profit. Does that shake me out the trade early if it's volatile? Yeah, it can shake you out if you do a trailing stop. So like I said, once I go up 10%, I put a stop at break even, right? And because I'm trading on a cash account that's over 25,000, right? Because I have that ability, I'm fine with getting shaken out, right? So realistically, I don't care about getting shooken out and taking -5%, -5%, -5%, 90% gain. Cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I like having a bunch of green and going 14 for 16 or whatever I did and having the 87% win rate. That's cool, but like we're not in this for win rate, bro. We're in this to make money. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll take a -5, -5, -5, and then catch the move and get 60%. Cool, right? So it can shake you out, but I'd rather be right than be holding something wrong. No, I'm just gonna wait till I'm right. And once I know I'm right, cool, let's run it. All right. People are asking, can I share a trailing stop setup on the screen? That's all depending on your brokerage. And more stop questions. Stop. Is it always the 1 minute time frame for my day trades? This week I did trade off the 1 minute, like the whole time. You go through my chat in the channel, like I was sending truck, I was trading live. That's why a lot of my call outs was like kind of scattered because we 1 minute trading, and I was mainly trading SPY same day expiration, so it was a little hard to call them out in the chat and get good timing for people. But yeah, I've been trading off the 1 minute this week. I like it. It's a little, I don't know, it's like a little intense, you could say, but not like a bad intense, but like you just gotta focus and you have to really trust yourself and just stick to the rules, right? If I'm waiting for a break of a higher high or a higher low or whatever the case is, then that's what I'm waiting for before entering. Or if it's bouncing off the trend line, I'm waiting for that. That's what I'm waiting on, right? So that's it. You just got to move the stop market order. Stop limits and stop markets are two different things, right? So a stop limit is going to have a separate thing where you have a stop price, which will trigger a limit order, right? So I use stop market so that as soon as it hits it, it automatically pulls me out. Always use trailing stop. Yep. You can do it for, I always have a stop regardless. So that's regardless, right? And you don't want to let green trades go red, which is why I use those trailing stops. So before, and there's different ways you could do that, right? You could do trims, you could see profit, take profit, which is more of a, hey, I'm up 10%, I'm out. I'm up 5%, I'm out, right? Which works a lot better when you're trading a heavier account. And you have more money to put on the trades. You can do that. All right, was the live trading on the 1 minute? Yes, sir, it was. It was on the 1 minute. What indicators do I use? I don't. This week I didn't trade with any indicators besides this. Like this was literally the only thing I had on my screen. Right. I have other stuff I could pull up and like flood the chart with, but I didn't use any of this week. Right. But over the weekends, a lot of times what I'll do is test out different indicator-based strategies, right? But you can see how trying to trade like this wouldn't make any sense, right? You wouldn't be able to do it. So this week was me testing no indicators, just price, just candles, and seeing how it went. And then on the weekends, like I said, a lot of times I'll throw up different indicators and back test. And I'll be like, well, if this indicator did this, that indicator did that, and that triggered an entry, how would the trade go? If this was this, how would that work as an exit? We're going through. Thank you, Lauren, for helping with the chat. What key characteristics from previous day and pre-market do I use to determine today's market direction? Great question. So when it comes to pre-market, sometimes I'll set levels, sometimes I don't. That's why most of my trades, when I look back, I review my own trades. When I've looked back, I noticed that a lot of my trades took place around like 10, and then I would kind of be done around 12, or maybe I'll just keep catching something if I was on live. But most of my trading and the biggest moves I got were between like 10 to around 12, right? So like I said, when I was looking at that, I thought about, okay, maybe the market shakes out. The real thing is I was just at the gym. So I've taken my trading over the years. This is my 10th year trading for anybody who didn't know. This is my 10th year trading. I did 3 years focused on long term, 3 years focused on swing trading shares, 3 years while swing trading options. And this is my first year day trading options. Okay. And I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, I've taken my trading really to more of a how simple can I make this? Right. So I've studied a lot of strategies over these years, and it's not just 10 years of like being long Apple shares. Like I've been studying this. You know what I'm saying? So now my trading is just simple. Like you'll hear me in the group, like I don't look at inflation data. I don't know what market events are going on, economic calendar, Jerome Powell, Biden. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been day trading off the 1 minute, I don't think a lot of that stuff really matters. And I'm just prefer stuff to be simple, right? I'm here to make money, and I want to make it as easy as possible for me to do that. Okay. So is knowing the CPI numbers going to affect my trading today? If I'm trading just price action on this chart, I doubt it. So I'm not worried about it, right? Pre-market, and that was yesterday, or that was today. I don't look at post-market. I rarely look at pre-market. So that's that. And I reset my levels every day because I've been trading on the 1 minute this week and like some of last week. I reset my levels every day so I don't have 15,000 resistance and support levels all the time. We already showed you how to put price on TradingView. That's an indicator called pivot points high low. Keep questions coming. I love it. Do I journal? What's up?
Oh no, I was gonna say some people have been asking if you use Vwop.
Nah. That's the other thing I never used, and people always talk about like that's like the golden day trading indicator. I've never used volume weighted average price. Never have. Do I journal my trades? I haven't anymore. Kind of because I call them out in a group, so it's kind of like a journal in itself. For the most part, all trades I take are put into the group chat, so I can look back and see, what happened. I review my trades like this at the end of the week. That is something I do. Is I'll go back, pull up the charts, pull up the times I entered and exited the trades, and I'll look and see, what I did. And I'll see, could I have did better on this? Did I exit too soon? Did I enter too early? What can I adjust to make this better next week? Right? And that's how we keep rolling. I did journal my trades a couple times in the past. I will say if you're gonna trade, having a journal is very helpful. Every time I've journaled, I've seen an improvement in my trading, doubling, tripling accounts, having 80% and higher win rates. Right? I think having an accountability partner too helps. When I did my last 2 trading journals for the month, I made them public. Right? So I put them on Instagram, I shared them with certain people. I was like, boom. So this is my trade log. I'm gonna update it every day after the trading day is over. And that way, if I'm looking at a trade, I'm like, dang, I kind of could take this. But if I lose, I don't want nobody seeing me take an L, bro. So let me wait for confirmation, right? And let me choose a higher probability setup. So I don't journal now, but I used to. On Apple, when the trailing stop have stopped you out, when you got in, I don't know. I just know I got out, got in. So that's the thing, going back to the trailing stops, and I'm reading messages from like 30 minutes ago. So this might have been answered already. But with the trailing stops, you know, you can go price, you can go percentage. You can do either or. If you're actively watching the chart on the 1 minute, then some of these, like, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out at, because I'm sitting here looking at the price and I see it made a higher high, but that higher high was like 10 cents. And then it immediately started reversing back down. So I might not have exited, right? But if you're trading during the day, don't trade and drive. If you're trading and driving, if you're doing anything else, setting those percentage based, you know, regardless, you're locking in. And I don't care about missing an 80% gain if I still get pulled out at 70, right? I don't care about getting break even. If I'm up 10%, I set a stop at break even and it comes back to break even, I didn't lose nothing. What's the big deal? Like, really, like, when you really think about it, who cares? You know what I'm saying? If it flips again, you can re-enter. So I don't care about getting stopped out 2 times for 0% if when I get back in, I catch the move and get 50, 60, 70%, right? So just think about it again logically, and manage your expectations accordingly, right? I know we see stuff on Instagram, and I know we see all these people with, you know, I just made $100,000 in a day and I just did this and I haven't lost a trade in 5 years or whatever, right? And maybe they have, right? But when you look at it again, the reality of it is, at the end of the day, I trade to make money. You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm getting stopped out 4 times on a trade because I'm trying to catch this move for minus 2%, damn a win-loss ratio for my whatever, for my Discord, for my Instagram, for me. I don't care, right? And I would think that most of y'all will be like, hey, bro, we just took 3 break evens, but we caught that 80% with you. We're cool. You know what I'm saying? We made money, right? So again, at the end of the day, think about that. Like, the goal is to make money, right? So let's focus in on doing that. How are you choosing the contracts to trade? The expirations, I'm going on the weekly. I was day trading, right? So I'm going weekly. When I was trading SPY, I was trading same day expirations or next day expirations. When it comes to the strikes, usually I've just been going 1 strike out of the money, keeping it kind of simple like that. Double bottom pattern is just when you see those 2 bounces at the same level. So I feel like I might have showed that already. But this is a triple bottom right here on Apple or a SPY. Right, you see the bounce here, right? This kind of level. See 3 bottoms. So that's a triple bottom. A double bottom would just be 2 of those and not 3, right? Do you have a course where you teach how to set up Webull for quick entries and exits? I don't have a course that's specific to any brokerages. I always suggest people to go to YouTube. That's what Sir Jamrock said. Appreciate you, bro. I always suggest for brokerage-specific questions, hit YouTube or hit their site. It's too many brokerages out there for me to reasonably make a bunch of walkthroughs for all the brokerages. Right? M1, Robinhood, Webull, TD, E-Trade, Tasty Words, Interactive Brokers. Like, I just named like 6. Right? I'm not about to go through and try to recreate their stuff when they have it. So I do not have courses related to that. Where do you place support lines? Can you show examples of a loss you can learn from? Yeah, we're gonna go over y'all losses too. I only had 2 losses this week, so it's not really too much for me to show. Like I showed, they both went positive right after. But one went positive next day. The other one went positive like 2 minutes later. Support is just connecting these lows, right? So if we look at this again, right, we just see an area where price is bouncing off of. It's how you identify support. Cool. can I show the 9 EMA? Do I use it for trading? I don't use it for trading. I could put it on the chart if you. I'm finally catching up to the questions. I'm at 9:45 and it's 54 new messages that are coming to the chat. Cool. Do I chart in one platform and trade on another? Yeah. I chart on TradingView and then I enter and exit my trades on Webull or Tastyworks. All right. So a lot of times I am trading just off of my phone. I do have more than one phone. I actually have 3, but I usually just use 2 with me all the time. And so sometimes I will chart on one, enter on one, and then call out the trade on one of them as well. All right. So text me, put it in the chat. Text me a question. I can't see that. I'm focused. All right. So yeah, I do. All right. To get out of trade for a loss, use the break of trend line when the candle lows. I don't understand that one. I'm sorry. Pivot, the pivot indicator, pivot points, high lows. Went over the strike and date. I go 1 strike out the money, weekly expiration or the closest expiration. What would be the best way to become fluid with charts? Best way to be fluid with charts would be practice. All right. So you back test, which would be just looking at the charts, going through history and seeing what makes sense, right? What happened? Pulling up the charts, like we just literally back tested triangle patterns on SPY and test. That's literally what we just did. Basically, we reviewed trades I took, but it's also been a review of patterns on test, right? And on SPY. So go through the charts. Times like this, crypto is open, right? So you could pull up a crypto chart and you could go practice the same concepts on crypto, right? So you do that. And you just go and you practice 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 and you get better at it, right? Do it over time. Do I use MAs for indicators? I do have a 200 MA pulled up right now. I didn't use that either really this week, but you can use it to just get a view of the overall trend, right? So cool. How many monitors do I run? 1.
Jordan, what indicator is that?
I'm sorry, I got to mute you. Put the question in the chat. I'm speeding through. Do I usually just trade on a minute or different time frames? I just been trading on a minute all week. Indicators or studies, none besides this pivot point indicator that tells me price. That's all I've been using this week. And now I'm caught up with where I first started at, but there's still 60 new messages. And I'm scrolling through. Some of them have been answered by my wonderful team. I appreciate y'all. I don't use Vwop. Robinhood, I think you can set up stop market on Robinhood. I think TD has a trailing stop function. Webull does not. Yeah, I manually put my orders in. Somebody said they use the 9 EMA, 25 EMA, 50 SMA, and Vwop. Do what works for you, man. As long as you get a bag, you do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Cup and handle pattern. Yeah, I can show a cup and handle. I think SPY formed a cup and handle on the 1 minute. So I usually don't sleep very often. Like I usually sleep like 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. But I took a nap today in the middle of the market so I can make sure, because I don't know how much sleep I got last night. I took a nap today in the middle of the market to, I already, ran it up and everything. And I was like, let me make sure I'm ready for tonight. And I woke up and everybody was like, yeah, SPY just ended positive. I'm like, what? Talking about, bro? I was literally asleep for like 30 minutes. So here's a cup and handle. I woke up, I checked the chart, and I was like, man, I wonder if somebody caught that cup and handle on the 1 minute. I actually sent the chart into the group at first and I deleted it because I was like, they're gonna be mad if they missed it.
Jordan, SPY got mad. SPY got mad at the fact that everybody online wanted to keep saying that SPY is in a bear market. So SPY turned around and said, wait till Friday before you make a buy decision.
I'm gonna mute Moody, bro. Yeah, bro. That's what I was telling people too. They were like, we've officially entered a bear market, 20% retracement. I'm like, wait till the market closes. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what actually happens. And I called out some Microsoft call lottos earlier today. I don't know if anybody got those. I said, hey, if the market flips back to green, these will be some good. I don't know if y'all did or not. I didn't call them out officially, but I said it on live. So cup and handle, right? There's my little tool. Got you a little cup. Got you a little handle. Little dipper type action, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, moving on. Smiley face, boom, profits. All right. That's how you look at a cup and handle though. I don't trade them too often. So I would love to be able to break them down a lot deeper, but I don't trade them too often. So I will not.
When we get a little further into the class, I'll show my screen and I'll break it down. I love cup and handles and inverted cup and handles.
Bet
I got you, bro.
Appreciate you. Let's keep going. We're almost done. Do I ever use Vwop on the 1 minute? I do not. Can I show you an example of a bull flag, bear flag? Yeah, we could. I mean, 1 minute flags are a little tighter. I mean, you could kind of consider this a flag. There's a lot of smaller movements. All right. Like that's a 1 minute small little, let me zoom in. Small little bull flag.
Just to throw it out there, I hear a lot of questions on different types of patterns and how to trade them and set them up. So when we do get further in the class and I just start showing my screen, I'll go over like a little pattern chart class for everybody is going real quickly as well. If Jordan allows it.
Your session starts at 11. All right. I thought he was going to actually be like, yeah, Jordan has a bunch of courses. You can get all his courses for just $19.99 a month. And in those courses, he teaches all this. That's what I thought you were going to say. But
there you go. There you go.
Shameless play. All right. Let's keep it rolling. What's considered pre-market before 9:30? When your stop loss, when you set a stop loss, do you worry about stop hunting? No, I don't care. I just re-enter. Like switching to savage mode, bro. I don't care about all this extra stuff. I'm getting my bag. I don't care if I get stopped out at 5%. I don't care. I don't care. I'm getting a bag. That's all I have to say. We're gonna go back. Join y'all dinosaurs who listen to Jay Powell all day. Nope. That's the thing. Like, think about what you're doing and think about, does it directly impact your ability to make money, right? In the market. Unless you trade in the market because you just love reading the Wall Street Journal and you just love like investors.com and investors daily. But like, that's why I don't really pay no attention to news like that. Like, I don't care. I'm not here for that, bro. I'm trying to get a bag. So I'm gonna figure out how I can get a bag with the least amount of work needed. And I'm gonna do that, right? Why did I trade Tesla and Apple? How do I choose other stocks to trade? Traded Tesla today because me and my boy Dennis are about to trade Tesla until we get enough money from trading Tesla to get Teslas, right? So that's why I traded Tesla.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, thanks, Elon. Hashtag thanks, Elon, right? So Apple, I was just looking through and I was looking at SPY. I was looking at SPY, Microsoft, and then I was like, well, let me see what Apple's doing. I was talking about how Microsoft can move on the market and how Apple can move the market. So I flipped over to Apple, saw what I saw, took the trade. How do I set support and resistance every day? Just connecting the lines, right? Like I was showing, just looking at the highs and lows. And you see a bunch of highs that are kind of around the same area like this, 383.82, 384.07, 383.79, right? I'll mark that as a resistance, right? And then resistance can flip to support. We see it kind of support bouncing right here. Right, it's a lot easier to see on bigger time frames because 1 minute candles, there's a lot of them, right? I don't pay attention to news, but what about earnings, upgrades, downgrades? No. I used to look at earnings. I try earnings strategy. So that's where like I'm at this point now where I just say like, I don't care about all the extra stuff because I went through processes where I was like, okay, what's earnings are coming out? Let me try to do a straddle. Let me try to, set up these different volatility-based positions. Let me try to see if I can trade earnings because I've done the research on this company and I know they're going to beat earnings. So I'm going to buy calls. They beat earnings, they still dropped. All right, cool, screw it. All right. So I don't worry about analyst upgrades, downgrades. I don't worry about earnings. The way I traded this week, like I said, this was my first time trading just off the 1 minute. No indicators, just 1 minute, just price. And I went crazy, in my opinion. So that's probably what I'm gonna keep doing. All right. Let me get that off the chart. How long has this group been open? This group has been open since February. I have had another group in the past, but I had to close that down. I've had 2 groups actually prior to this one. I did run a group before when I was working full time. I was the only teacher, I was the only trader, and I was, trying to support everybody. But it just got kind of tough, and then they started cracking down on my job, and like people like being away from their desk on their phones and stuff. So I closed the group. And then I had another group, and that had a whole situation. If you were there, you know what happened. If you weren't, don't even worry about it. We better. How do I set levels each week? I don't set them on a day. I go to the gym, I wake up, eat breakfast, take a walk, all that good stuff. And then around 10 o'clock, unless I'm not at the gym, then I'll just pop on the chart and then I'll start looking at levels. And that's literally it. Like I literally just see this bounce. Cool. That's a level, right? You think you catch up on these chats and you just never catch up. But that's okay. Keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. I took a 20-minute nap. You can buy a trade journal on Amazon. What's up, Lauren?
No, I was just going to say you can keep going because I've just been deleting the questions as you answer them. So
okay,
you're good.
Yeah, no problem there. Keep asking, keep asking. I prefer it this way, so it's not 50 people unmuted trying to get questions out. I joined late, but why the 1 minute? How do I choose what trades to take? So my trades, why the 1 minute? I'm gonna give you the real honest answer. The real, it's like a deep, like a bunch of stuff. Long story short, if y'all have seen The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, where like somebody was like, Karl Malone got MVP, Jordan's like, oh, so he got the MVP. All right, took that person. And then when it turned up, a couple of things happened where people basically tried to play me. It's really how I took it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not really out here. So I said, bet. Y'all about to find out what's really good. You know what I'm saying? Just don't get mad if I'm trading and y'all can't catch these trades because we making money too quick. So that happened where some people basically, the reality of it is people who were newer traders and weren't used to trading or had a lower risk tolerance or were over leveraging on their accounts. I would call a trade out. The trade might go down like 15% and they start freaking out, or they was putting like thumbs down emojis on my trades and stuff. But then the trade went back positive. Hey, bro, if you're gonna hate, you're gonna hate hard, love hard too. I want to hear that. I want to hear all of that today. So yeah, and then choosing the trades. Like I said, I feel like since I reviewed my trades this week, a lot of it comes through just price, like just patterns, right? Like falling wedge, right? And then it broke out the falling wedge right here. All right, so just the same patterns that you would trade on a daily time frame, an hourly time frame, any other time frame, I'm just trading them on a 1 minute. And I'm making sure that I'm just looking at the high points and the lower points and trading based off of those. Brace of support, right? Boom, right? So the candles and all of that, triangle patterns, and this is being recorded, so if you missed it, you can go back. Do I chart all time frames? For example, yearly, monthly, daily? No. Could, I don't, because I'm just trading a 1 minute. I could, but I don't. This is literally a 1 minute masterclass, trading on a 1 minute masterclass. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna start trading on that 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Look at, come on now. Play, I ain't gonna do that. But I could. All right, anyway, yeah, Jay has a trading channel, a trading journal template in his channel. Y'all can check it out. I think Lauren uploaded one to the basic stock education channel in our Discord. So check out the education tab. We keep putting tons of resources. We got tons of ebooks, audio books, YouTube videos that we like that you can learn from. Run through that education channel. For the small account, it takes some days for the trade to settle. Now, it's not based on your account size, to my knowledge. Uh-oh, somebody put SMTTT. What's up? Oh, they don't left the chat. Can't even respond to you now.
There's a question about whether you ever use the fib tool.
tried it, and it just really ain't food. It just didn't really work for me like that. I was like, so yeah, with the indicators, like I just showed you, and I put it up again. Like I said, on weekends, I do a lot of back testing, right? And so these are all different variations of different strategies and stuff. But honestly, you can't trade like this for real, right? Maybe you trade with just, I don't know. All right. So yeah, I don't use fibs. I tried it. I literally went through the indicators and went to the community scripts top. So yeah, I've literally like went through pretty much anything that had over like 10,000 likes on this thing, which would be like all of these up here. I went through and run tests on all of these, all of them, right? To see if I could create some sort of structure or strategy that's real simple. Because it would be nice if I could say, hey, Jordan, how you trade on the 1 minute? Well, I use this indicator and that indicator. And when this one turns green and that one turns blue, we get in. But that's not what's happening, so I'm not gonna sit here and act. You know what I'm saying? Video on
I got
price
a question,
action.
Jordan.
Mute.
Well,
I'm sorry, you can unmute yourself, Moody.
I don't get too hyped, bro. We both the same sign now. But whatchamacallit, what was I gonna say? See, I was about to get in my bag. You was about to make me get in my bag. Let me not get in my bag.
You gonna take over next shift, bro.
Oh no, it's not that, bro. You know what I mean. It's the no trims. But with all your back testing on different indicators and the amount of experience that you do have under your belt with all your skill sets, how do you feel about indicators with having so many back testing strategies in the past? Like, what do you feel about indicators? I know a lot of people continue to ask about different indicators and what indicators to use on this time frame, or just picking your brain on to see like, what do you think about indicators? So, and overall, how do you feel about using indicators when trading?
Got you, bro. Great question. Glad we unmuted you. No. So when it comes to indicators, like I have kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, like kind of like a 4-level hierarchy of what matters when trading. So to me, trend first and foremost, support and resistance, supply demand, right? Candlesticks, and then indicators. And indicators are going to be used to confirm or kind of go along with whatever you're looking at, right? So the reason being, trend, like I said, if you're in a downtrend, right? So we look at SPY on this day, we're in a downtrend on the 1 minute. You could have got at the top of this, or you could have got it right here and bounce back up. But the trend kept going down, so you would still ended up winning the trade, right? Support and resistance helps you get even better entries, because now you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a break of support, right? So you're just taking it a level deeper. You could trade without regard to the trend and trade support and resistance. If you're trading something that's bouncing in a zone, that's what you're doing, right? Trending sideways, but you're just playing the support and resistance bounces. And then with candlesticks, you can just get levels deeper, right? You can understand candlestick-based reversals. You can look at the strength of the market and look at are you getting a bunch of bullish candles, like big bullish candles? Are you getting bullish engulfings? Are you getting, big inside days? That's just a bunch of consolidation and you see a big break. And then indicators, I think indicators are last because a lot of them can lead to fake signs. They're lagging most of the time. So, it's showing you stuff that's already happened. But like the RSI is a great example where the RSI can be oversold the whole time, right? I don't have an RSI, so I'm gonna close this MACD off just to like show example. All right, so if you said, typical RSI thing is I'm only gonna trade it when it's above 80 and buy puts. So when it's below 30, I'm gonna get calls. Right? If that was what you were sticking to, you would have never gotten puts, bro. You would have been sitting here. Right? And think about it. If you were like, I'm gonna buy calls whenever it goes oversold, yeah, you would have caught this little bounce right here. But overall, like you most likely would have caught an L. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I don't really worry about indicators too much, but you can use them, you know, and they can be helpful, right? Think about this right here. We're overbought. Overbought means buy puts, right? If we're trading off the RSI, yeah, you bought puts, you took an L, right? And you didn't buy calls. You wouldn't have bought calls this whole way, right? We go up to price action, we see a higher low, right? So lower low, higher low compared to this one, and a higher low here, which is also resistance, so it's testing support, right? And then we break higher high, right? We in calls. But looking up the indicator strictly, that's an L. You bought puts, you lost, right? So that's that. Will analyze a higher time frame, then hop in the 1 minute. Nope, just off the 1 minute this week. Do I use option flow and format? Like, this is all based on me trading off the 1 minute. Like, what I just showed y'all is literally all I did this week. I ain't look at nothing. Oh, you said my light flickering? That's probably my ring light. But yeah, so no, I don't, I didn't use option flow. I'll use option flow if I'm like swing trading, then that is something I would look at, right? But as far as this, no. How do I pick stocks to trade each day? I have a bunch of watch lists. I do have scanners. I do have a ton of scanners. I don't use them all. It's kind of based on what I feel like. So I have screens like swing trading scanners. I have scanners for stuff that'll let me know if there's a certain like watch list for day trading. This week and basically since last week, really, I haven't been making a watch list either. Like, I just open up the SPY chart and I just look at the higher highs, higher lows. So if you missed like live trading, if you were on any of the live trading, you would have saw that's literally all I did. I was sharing my screen and I just was looking at higher highs, higher lows, support, resistance, chart patterns, and going off of that. But I do have different stocks. So if I'm just kind of like, man, I don't see anything, then I'll just come over here and I'll just start flipping through and see if I see something that stands out. When I reset my levels every day, what do I mark at other than the current day's high and lows? That's it. Yeah, that's it. So that's like I was saying, when most of my trades have taken place after the first 30 minutes. After the first 30 minutes, you have high and lows to go off of. You might have some trend lines. You might have some level of support. So that's that. I called out Tesla. He didn't have enough to get in. It's all right. So the trades. Follow JJ and Zay. They trade a lot of stuff that costs less than $1, or less than $100. How long did it take for me to become a full-time trader? This is my 10th trading, first year options trading. I left my job and focused in on trading in November of last year, and that was that. But once you like full-time trading, I think a lot of this stuff, like, people be blowing out proportion, right? Like, to trade full time, like, you don't have to make like $400,000, bro. You don't have to have a bunch of $10,000 days. Like, if you can consistently generate 7 G's, 8 G's, right, 9 grand out the market each month, that's fine. You know, so having like credit spread and debit spread strategies, that's pretty much what did it. Was swing trading strategies that had a very high rate of success, and I just kept compounding to the point where now I can consistently pull out, 2 bands, 3 bands a week. I just do like that. So it's not a matter of time, and I'll say that too. It's not about how long you've been in the market, but it's about what you do with your time in the market, right? So you could be somebody who just started trading 2 months ago, right? But hopping on calls like this, going through the education tab where we literally have all those videos there, we have trainings like this, asking questions in the chat, like, that's how you get better. People on this call right now, y'all are gonna be better than the people not on this call. Like, because you're taking the time to learn this, right? Watching this stuff, but not just watching it, but when I said, and I specifically said, go Google ascending triangles, descending triangles, right? those are the people who are going to be advancing even quicker, right? Because you're just taking it and then you're taking it and you're studying it deeper. You're not just in class, but now you're studying out of class, right? But the people who go back, look at the chart, go find ascending triangles, and then tomorrow or tonight on crypto, go try to find ascending triangles and see how they play out. Those are the folks who are going to really be dangerous, right? So again, it's not a matter of how many years. It's about what you do with those years. Am I doing any 1K challenges, 5K, 500? I might do another one. The last challenge I did that actually went pretty decent was a 10K challenge. I tried doing a 1K challenge. It didn't work for me. There wasn't enough flexibility. People kept trying to tell me how to trade the account. And frankly, a majority of my trades, I put more than $1,000 on one trade. So for me to go from putting 1,000, 2,000 in a trade itself to going to just trading a $1,000 account just was unrealistic for me. But I was trying to, turn y'all up. Let's go. Yeah, people don't have enough buying power. That's fine. Like we have other analysts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the only one. So we have people who do trade a lot more. What's the best way to learn charts practice? When you meet me on Zoom, when you met me on Zoom this week, you were deep in the red. You were messaging me and I turned you green with profit. You've been in a lot of different Discords, but you finally, without a doubt, found a home. Go. But we don't freaking play around here, bro. I don't know if you got 100 more messages. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm just gonna run through. All right, with the 1 minute charts, are you starting with a clean slate every day? Yes, no Christmas lights on our charts. That's right. Put some testimonials in the chat. Make Jay a permanent mod. His pre-market reviews have been fire. Help me secure the bag in one trade, enough to pay for a lifetime membership. I'm glad you like Jay. Thank you. Fire, 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 fire. 178 people in a trap on a Friday night. That's dedication. That's right. We're not playing. Y'all hungry. And that's what y'all see with us, bro. Like, if y'all want to get fed, we finna feed, bro. Like, we doing a Tesla challenge. Yeah. How much is it gonna start with? I don't know. I was thinking 10K. I don't know if everybody just, kind of positioned for that. I'm just gonna trade and just kind of like look at what I'm trading. I'm not gonna be updating everybody on account balances, on all that. Like, just let me, the people who I'm pretty sure the people who was trying to correct me on the 1K account wasn't people who would have the 10K in their account to trade. I think that's something I've noticed is just like people on different financial situations have different experiences and different viewpoints. So I think that's kind of what I'd be more comfortable doing, like a 10K, 50K challenge. So let's see what so you don't even chart any, man, only the high and lows, just the high and lows of the day. But yeah, I'm just going off high and lows and just moving off that. Outside support and resistance triangles, were these the only strategies for this week? Yeah. It was only support and resistance, high and lows, and triangles. I didn't trade specifically like pennants or head and shoulders or anything. Somebody asked me how the 10K challenge went. It was actually a 10K crypto challenge. And we did 10K to, I want to say we stopped at like 14 because the crypto market started getting real shaky and it was spot buys, right? So now that was before I was trading crypto futures where I was, flipping, buying and selling. So we stopped. So I stopped around 14. Some people stopped at like 13. And we're just gonna like wait for the crypto market to kind of settle back to keep buying, because we're literally buying the coins and flipping. Started trading with $59 in your account. You doubled your account today. Love it. We lit. Right. We're scrolling through. Somehow it still says plus 99. Full port. What do I mean? Dennis, we're playing. How do I put the numbers on my chart? Oh, the messages are done now. I worked up a sweat answering this. Yeah. So that's that. So y'all got, oh, let's review some of y'all red trades before I pass it off to Moody. Before we pass it off to Moody. I know he's ready. If y'all got a red trade from today that y'all want to review, because Zay put out that poll and it said like 20 something people were red. And I'm almost 90% sure that across the analyst team, we might have lost one trade today, if that. And a bunch of our trades went over 100% today. So I'm guessing it's not from us, but I want to kind of dive in and see what y'all are looking at that y'all lost on and how we can kind of avoid those trades. So I just need somebody, raise your hand. Raise your hand, use the Zoom feature to raise your hand. Please, if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Or put it in the chat, me, I'll go first or something. But I do want to look at some of y'all trades. You'll go first. Let's go. Let's go, Shetty Kokonari. There you go. Hey, you took Walmart. Cool. Talk to me. You took Walmart. What contract did you take? If you could pull up when you enter 130 calls. 130. Okay, that says it a little bit. When'd you get in? June 17th. Okay, swing, valid. You got in 2 days ago. Okay. So let's flip to the one now. I thought you said you got a 130. How you finish green? How you finish red? You got in 2 days ago on a Walmart. Sorry, I'm on a 1 minute chart. I'm tripping. 2 days ago, that would be the 16th. I'm sorry, I still don't know dates. That would be the 18th. Okay. 198. Do you know, can you pull up in your brokerages what time you took that trade? And then we can kind of dig in. Yeah, and then if you could type out why you took it too, or you can unmute if you want to, but you kind of got the floor and we're breaking it down.
Okay, I'll try to talk, but I have an accent that people try to make fun of.
It ain't that bad, bro. Come on. We're here to make money.
You sound beautiful, brother. You sound beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. So I took it. Yeah, I took it on 18th May.
Yeah.
At 10:29 a.m.
Okay. And do you remember like why you took the trade?
Yeah, this trade was by Lethal, and also JJ told a similar thing in the chat, saying that we are at an amazing low, that it might not go more low than this, and then there is going to be a gap fill. Yeah, so I took that trade.
Okay.
Look like it's going to go to a bottom and then it's going to jump back up. The only mistake from my side was I didn't know that the stop loss of some other trade is going to kick in, and my third day trade on the Robin would be up, so I could not close this out at 20%.
So it did go up 20% in profit at some point, but you couldn't close it out.
No.
Oh,
some other trade got closed, and I could not close this even when my stop loss of 20% got hit.
Okay. So let's look at this, right? So you said Lethal called it out. JJ mentioned a gap being filled. So you had two analysts talking about it and kind of an agreement on it. And you're currently red. You've been in it 2 days, and it expires a month from now, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful thing about it is you still have a ton of time on this contract, right? Ton of time. You have a month for 3 weeks on this contract. That's the first thing, right? Second thing is you're not trading a bad company, right? So Walmart is a company that we would expect to go back up. So again, I don't think that's a bad idea there. We flip to the daily. RSI is oversold on a daily, right? So if we do a little check on the RSI, we see that usually when it comes down here, and I'll just mark it out, right? Here's another one. When it comes down there, usually we do see bounces, right? And so what I'm not about to do is like say it's the perfect trade, but what I'm doing is really just looking at what we're dealing with here. So usually RSI comes down here, we see bounces, right? See a bounce here, and then it ran up. You see a bounce here, and it ran up. Only difference is this one was an after earnings drop, right? So this is how you start looking at that. So even over here, we came down, and this is actually kind of the same level, okay? And then we had a pop. So RSI, looking at just the RSI, that looks valid. And I just had the RSI up already, but we could do different ways of analysis. So that's valid, right? RSI alone. But when we look at that this was an earnings gap down, now we have to start questioning, how far is it going to go? Because this isn't just regular price. This was earnings. So I think with this trade, a safer way to do it would be you have the earnings drop and to wait until you start seeing it based out, right? So we want to actually see a low put in. So this day, it was down here. This day, it dropped down. This day, it made a new low. This day, it made a new low. So we're still making lower lows. If you caught the previous thing I kept talking about is making higher lows or higher highs, all right? So, oh yeah, Moody about to spit that Spanish in the chat. See you looking at that. So that's what I would say. The trade, I think, is still a decent trade. But I think next time, if we're going to look at a trade, and with all analyst trades, I would say always like check them if you can, especially swings. But I would say try not to just immediately hop in an earnings trade, like a post earnings, because we don't know where the low is at. And this could keep going lower. Right?
And also the market sentiment itself is bearish right now. So
and that too. That's something I thought about while I was explaining this, and I completely let it go. So overall, the market's down anyway. So swinging calls is you fighting the trend, right? But if we look at AT&T, and I want to show this example when we go to like the earnings, right? Look at this gap on AT&T from May of 2021. It's May of 2022 now. AT&T still hasn't filled this gap, right? So this is like the same scenario. You have a drop, and it even came to support, right? But swinging calls and on pure anticipation of that gap fill wouldn't have worked. So I think with this Walmart one, and I'm glad you brought it up, still a good looking trade, but with market sentiment being bearish, and with it being a bearish earnings, and with there not being a low end, I would say next time just wait to actually see a firm low or a new support before hopping in and swinging it back up.
got it. So what do you suggest me to do? It's at 0.65 now, and I got at 1.98.
Yeah,
it's almost down for 60. How much? It's 60%, 62% down now. And I didn't take just one trade. I took three of them.
What percentage of your account balance did you put on this trade?
I think 10%.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But I would say, if I could give advice, which I can't leave.
Yeah.
I would say if you're going to have a decent portion of your account on it, you don't want to go down 60%. Maybe stop at 20, maybe, or 30 or 40 or 50. Not 60, but it's a swing trade and it has time. So in terms of stopping now, because you have a month, once we get a break above this high, so once you start making a new high, I think you could be safer to average in.
Okay.
Right, because you took a trade from an analyst, I would say you could also just see what they do. But me personally, if I was managing it, I would see if we average in when we make a new high over here. But if we make another low, I'm just getting out, bro.
So
Right.
the low as 115.
I would get out until we make a new high.
Okay.
That's what I would do. I'm not gonna keep sitting here and going down. The market itself has been pretty red. No.
Makes sense.
So yeah, if market open on Monday, if we don't start making new highs, I would probably just exit.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that helpful?
Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
Perfect, bro. Somebody drop in the chat. Who's next? We getting bags and we protecting bags. All 2022. All 2022. Drop in the chat. Let me know. Somebody just messaged me. Dash. Oh no, you said you can go again. Hey, come on, bro. Somebody messaged me Dash, but they didn't say anything else. Can I break down exercising a put? I've never exercised a put. And the numbers given by analysts. Mr. Kokanari, Kokarni. You can
Yeah, you
correct
can, yeah, you can just call me Chetty.
Chetty is a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, I like learning. Go ahead, bro. Go for it.
Yeah. So JD put 17th June expiry. Yeah, 17th June expiry. So there was a funny story with it. So there was some sort of message that came from Robinhood, which stated that some corporate action and they adjusted the put option for me because of some dividend coming in that I wasn't aware of. And basically they changed my put from 52 put to, oh, sorry, give me a minute. Yeah, it's 43.76 put now, 43.76. 43.76, which is very weird number because it's a dividend adjusted price apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I got in, it was at 47 put.
You got in when?
I got in for the like my target was 47 put, which got adjusted to 43.76 put.
Yeah, but what day did you get in?
I got in 1 minute. Date purchased 19th May.
I like it, bro. I don't think there's nothing wrong with this. So you got in yesterday.
Yeah.
Moved up today. So you're down on the position a little bit right now. But overall, we do see lower highs being put in. All right, we are under the 200 EMA. Market sentiment is bearish, like we talked about.
Yep.
So I think overall, again, you have the month. So I think it's not bad. And then you can also kind of acknowledge that descending triangle that we talked about. No, this time it's on the daily, not the 1 minute. All right. So I like this one too. If we get a little bounce, don't be surprised if you do get moved up, back up here. All right. Because it's a swing, I mean, you could, of course, exit and re-enter it. I've kind of gotten so used to day trading now. It's like me like doing analysis of swing trades just feels weird because I'm like, bro, just cut it and then re-enter. Like, why would you hold it?
Apparently, I can't I can't exit and get into this trade and I cannot trade JD for another month because I was in a put when the corporate action kicked in. So that's a new thing, new learning that I had. Maybe it can help somebody else. So when you take an option, we need to make sure that there is no dividend date coming in. Otherwise, it's going to affect in a way that you don't know how it's going to affect.
Yeah, you bought it on the day of the dividend. Oh, okay. It might be. So when they drop the dividend, the stock price usually adjusts to account for it. I don't think if you had 47 puts, you said they're at your strike is 43 now?
Yeah. That was messed up part about it. So my target was okay. Yeah, 47 makes sense, but
Yeah. So we had this descending triangle here. 43.76 puts for 617 means that you're going out to here, right? So what I would like is if you can actually break below this support, right? Like say during the day you come down below 50.25, that would be good. Preferably like at the end of the day, it looks like it's actually about to close below 50.25. That's when I would maybe re-enter and adjust. Can you sell it?
I can only sell it. I can't enter in again, and I cannot trade option for another month. The JD option for another month.
Okay.
Not this, not any.
Yeah. Okay. That's such like a weird situation. But just off the chart, I never had a corporate action. We're gonna change your strike price to have sense in it now. Happen to me. So I would say again, valid if you get this break below here. You have a month's time, right? But realistically, I guess if it breaks this high right here, if it breaks the high of this candle, then you can see it continuing up in this little to touch this resistance trend line. And you don't want to keep taking drawdown on it, right? So we'll see what happens Monday. Monday, if it keeps moving down, it retests this, you might see a break. And you can hold through. It's something we should probably do in the middle of the week. But yeah, so you got in yesterday. What made you get in yesterday? Shetty? All right. Well, for anybody else who's looking at it, as far as yesterday goes, I think yesterday, like I said, even without these candles, we see this clear support right here. So buying puts yesterday, we didn't make a new low compared to the 18th. So I'm gonna zoom in on that. Right. So if you were buying puts, you still want to be breaching a low, right? So technically we're inside this candle right here. All right. So this is a candle, and then this is a triple inside day. All right. So we wouldn't take puts until we break below this level. So below here, we would go puts. All right. So cool. That's that breakdown on JD though. We're in an inside day. Usually you don't trade inside of an inside candle anyway because you want to wait until you actually see a break so you can catch the breakout or the breakdown. All right. So for this one, waiting for puts below here, very solid. You can of course trade the bounce back up to the trend line resistance, but the safer move would be, since we're already in a downtrending market, this is a downtrending stock. All right. You zoom out, top left to bottom right, we're going down overall. Downtrend stock, downtrend market, puts good, waiting for that entry because you're inside the trading. That bar is better.
Thank you. Got it.
No problem, bro. Somebody said they laid up, took the spot put after I was with me. I didn't call the spot put in the chat on the voice to hear me call the or the voice chatter on the Zoom to hear me call the average down. Then I can see why you would have missed it. Pulled out. at 50% loss and was red most of the day, but finished with the Apple put because you got on the Zoom. There we go. Glad you caught that Zoom. What do I think about the dash chart in Airbnb? Pull it up. And then at 11, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the rock to Moody, like I'm Magic. Dash, overall downtrend, all right, first and foremost. See if we can connect some wicks here to form a trend line. I can kind of see something happening here. I don't even really care to do a trend line on this for real. Nah, you can make that thing. So trend lines are kind of arbitrary in a sense. I mean, you try to connect the wicks the best you can, right? Given the monkeypox news, do you think that a put on airlines and hotels might work?
Price action.
Yeah, you got to see how a price moves, right? You don't want to trade the news and try to guess which way the news is going to affect it, because like you just don't know. I mean, stuff with like COVID, where they say like, yeah, 1 million people just died. It's a lot easier to kind of trade. But as we saw with the market, like the market recovered very fast and they were still increasing hospitalization rates and all of that. So I don't worry. Don't try to force a trade purely off of news, in my opinion. I think that's, you're gonna lose more often than you win. Because stuff gets factored differently and the stocks might not even move because of that. Now, if it's a certain hotel that has a bunch of monkeypox breakouts in it, or a certain airline that, you know, all the other airlines require masks to fly, and then this airline says, I don't care, and then they have a bunch of planes where people get monkeypox and they die, that's different. All right, but just monkeypox as a whole, I don't think automatically leads to puts. So there's that. For Dash, we got a support level down here. All right, we see the bounce, see another bounce. So of course, if we take out that low, we can see, you know, more drop. All right. Other than that, if we take out this, we could see a little move back up, right? Previous support, turn resistance. All right, so we break that resistance, hold over it, we could potentially swing it back up. Again, I admit I've been day trading, pretty much only day trading this year. And now my swing trading mind is kind of like fizzling out. That's crazy. That's all I used to do. I never would have thought I would be day trader, but here I am on the 1 minute chart of all places. Airbnb, same sort of deal, right? Overall downtrend. So when you're swinging, for the most part, you just want to trade in the direction of the trend. So instead of trying to catch the ride back up, it'd be more advantageous to let it pull back up and then catch the drop back down, because that drop movement is going to be a lot bigger than the moving back up. We do have a gap right here. Bingo. All right, we got a gap right here that can get filled to the upside. But again, just like we looked at with Walmart, just like we looked at AT&T, just because there is a gap doesn't mean you should expect it to fill immediately. If you can go do research and back testing on gaps. The only research I've done regarding the gaps is on SPY, on how often it fills the gap. And I'm not going to spit out all the data, but essentially gaps fill on SPY the same day more often the later you go into the week. And they usually fill in the same direction of the overall trend. And it's okay, there's too much math that goes into it, but I'll leave that. I'm sorry I took y'all that way. Isn't Lauren a swing trader? Absolutely. Pop in the Lauren channel on the Discord. You'll see she's breaking down charts, breaking down groups, a lot of Lauren's positions, and she can. Go ahead, Lauren. Talk about you.
No, I got up for a second, so I actually wasn't here. What was the question?
They said, isn't Lauren a swing trader?
Yeah. I do swing shares though. I don't swing options. So I mean, you can use some of my ideas to set up options plays, but you want to make sure that there's enough volume in some of those stocks So basically my ideas that I post are for swinging shares, just a FYI.
Yeah. And a lot of hers, I think, because she does like a big overview of the whole sector. So a lot of her positions are more so favorable for like a longer term swing, maybe like a month, 2 months. If you're trading options, you can do a far out contract, or you can just do credit spreads or debit spreads, and that'll put you in good position with hers. Rob said, here for the math, and you're super analytic. Yeah, I'm data and numbers and probabilities, and let me go find a way to find out of all the years that SPY has been a thing, what day is it most likely to gap up and fill the gap, right? Like majority of SPY's movement over the years has been in gap ups. Like testing straight, I could go on for days. I like talking to people like that. Like back testing, like if you just bought a SPY call every day at the money at open and sold it at 30%, like what would your result be? Or buying a SPY call at the end of the week on Friday at the money and setting a 50% take profit, or holding it next week. Like there's some stuff out there. I have tested a strategy where like if you over the 200 moving average and you just buy SPY calls every week with the same amount of the same position size, you got to have a decent account size to be able to like really take care of it. But just keep in mind that with options, you can only lose 100%, but you can gain way more than that, right? So buying a call, like technically your potential reward is infinite, right? So the stock can go up 1,000% of the day, or 500%, or 200%, right? So keep that in mind. It is 11:01. I said I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off. There's no more questions in the chat. I'm glad we got to review some trades. And pass it off to my Brody Moody, if he wants to come on board. He might be upset that I'm using.
Oh, guys.
Bro.
Nah, I ain't upset, bro. How you living?
You see my account this week?
Man, what's going on, everybody? I'm Moody. How everybody doing? Y'all can ask questions in the chat. I'm just really going over Q&As. I'll keep the chat up too, so I can make sure I'm watching it. But definitely, I'll pull up my screen here in a second as well, and just go over some charts too, some patterns. I know some people have some questions on cup and handles and things of that nature. But y'all could unmute yourself if y'all got some questions. I don't mind. You know, Jordan's done with his class right now, so you know how it goes down after hours. So how's everybody doing? What's going on? Don't make me start picking people randomly.
Yeah, y'all can talk.
After hours, Jordan, with the shades on. Yeah, I'm learning a lot though.